Are you tired of setting financial goals that never seem to stick? Does the thought of setting new financial goals feel overwhelming? Perhaps you find yourself falling short year after year, wondering where things went wrong. Well, you're not alone. You see, the thing is, most people don't achieve their goals simply because they don't have a clear plan. You know, one that actually works. Well, today, in this video, we're going to change all that. And together, we can make 2025 the year that you master your money. Hello, my name is Anthony, and I'm a financial planner, an award-winning financial planner, and the author of The Anthony Plan. Empower yourself to take control of your money, build the wealth you need to live a life you love. Now, over the last 30 years or so, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people just like you, people in midlife who've worked hard, built careers, grown businesses, raised families, and yet still feel the weight of financial uncertainty. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can set financial goals like a pro using the no-nonsense framework from my book, The Anthony Plan, so that you can build the wealth you need to live a life you love. Throughout the video, I'm going to share actionable steps so that you can start your journey and set yourself up for some credible and achievable goals for 2025. And we're going to do that right now. So let's dive in. Let's start with the big picture. What do you really want? What does a life you love actually look like? You see, if you don't define what a life you love looks like, then your financial goals might well be aiming at, well, nothing. And shooting at nothing rarely ends well, unless you're playing darts with your eyes shut, in which case, have fun and good luck. Now, living a life you love means different things to different people. Imagine this. You're on a sun-drenched beach, toes in the sand, watching the waves gently roll in. In one hand, you've got your favourite drink, a margarita or whatever. And in the other hand, you've got the latest novel from your favourite author. You're relaxed. And not just because you're on holiday, but because you're living a life that's free of financial stress. Sun-kissed beach is not your thing? What about this then? You're a little bit older than you are today. You're in the garden with your grandkids on a bright, warm, sunny afternoon. You're teaching them how to grow their first vegetables, and you hand them a little green watering can so that they can sprinkle some happiness onto some thirsty leaves. The garden giggles with delight as one of the grandkids pulls up a rather tiny carrot and asks if it's ready to eat yet. In this precious, memorable moment with your family, you're not worried about bills or investments or whatever, because you've already built the financial security to be able to enjoy these moments to the fullest. Maybe living a life you love is as simple as living in a cosy home, spending quiet evenings with your partner, reading by the fire, and knowing that you've got enough tucked away to enjoy a peaceful, fulfilling life. You see, living a life you love might not be about extravagance, but about living comfortably, with purpose and with meaning. Now, conjuring these images is more than mere dreaming. The key takeaway here is to get a clear understanding of what living a life you love actually looks like and feels like to you. Doing this exercise can give you the rock-solid emotional anchor point to which you can then tether your individual specific goals. You see, once you connect to that emotional why, your goals and the numbers will fall into place much more easily. So tell me, what does a life you love look like? Let me know in the comments below. Next, let's talk about your money identity, the way you think and behave around money. If you see yourself as bad with money, then that belief's going to hold you back. But the good news is, when you're willing to change your story, you can change your results too. Let me share a quick story. Years ago, I worked with a client. I'm going to call him Mark. Now, initially, Mark came to me with a question about his workplace pension fund. And when I first met him, he used to joke. He said, "Anthony, I'm a money sieve. Money just slips through my fingers as fast as I can earn it." This was his way of brushing off his financial struggles. It was his ready-made excuse. It was his money identity, and it kept him stuck. But after long chats and meetings, Mark came to realise that he was avoiding taking control of his finances because he'd always seen himself as a spender, not an investor. And so, with small steps, he gradually shifted his story and his money identity so that he began saying, "I'm building a future, a secure future." And over the coming months and years, I watched him change more than just his behaviour around money. He cleared a big chunk of debt, he built a solid emergency fund, and he made meaningful progress towards retirement that would be on his terms. You see, changing his money identity changed his actions and also the trajectory of his life. So take a moment to think about your own story. What's your money identity been so far? And what do you want it to become? Let me know in the comments. Right, let's look at turning all of this into a plan with goals. Now, the journey towards reaching big goals is dotted with smaller measurable goals that I call milestones. Think of it a bit like a sailor plotting points on a chart to mark the course of his intended voyage. The goal is to complete the voyage. The milestones are the plots on the chart along the way. So picture this. You've set yourself a big goal, say to retire early. Your chart might include milestones like ratcheting up over time the amount that you allocate each month towards building the wealth that you'll need. Other milestones might include clearing credit card debts or clearing off old loans much sooner than scheduled. Or perhaps milestones might include things like sitting a particular exam or applying for a specific licence so that you can earn more money at work, which then feeds back into helping you reach your other milestones. You see, your specific milestones are unique to you and your journey. And with each milestone that you pass, you'll be one step closer to living a life you love. Now, imagine a coin. You're looking at a coin. It's got two sides. You can't have a coin with just one side, can you? Duh. Every coin has two sides, and every goal and every milestone must have two sides too. The physical and the emotional. The physical side is the material stuff. These are the things that you want to have or do in the future. The what, the where, the when, and the amounts. The emotional side is the why. It's the feeling and the meaning that the physical side of your goals will give you. It might be peace of mind, security, comfort, independence, a sense of accomplishment. And I don't mean in a generic sense. What I'm talking a bit about is how these will make you feel and what these things mean to you. It's the emotional driver that'll keep you focused and motivated as you progress towards your key outcome, which is living a life you love. Now, when you begin thinking about your goals, you might start with the physical or you might start with the emotional. It doesn't really matter. There isn't a right or a wrong side of a goal, so long as you just make a start. Now, when planning your goals and your milestones, remember to think about the short term and the medium term and the long term. Short term might include things like adopting a new financial habit or a behaviour, or building up a solid emergency fund, or clearing a credit card within the next year. Medium term might include things like, say, upgrading your current home, or even moving house entirely within, say, the next 10 years, just for example. And long-term goals, they tend to be the bigger things, like building enough wealth to retire comfortably. When you're new to goal setting, it's usually best to start focusing on small and focusing on manageable short-term goals, like Mark did. His goals, if you remember, were to change the way he behaved around money, clear his credit cards, and build an emergency fund. And these goals helped him get immediate short-term results, and it gave him enough momentum to boost his confidence to face his bigger long-term goals. You remember me talking about goal setting being a bit like a sailor plotting points on a chart to mark the course of their intended voyage? Well, a sailor doesn't just set sail and hope for the best. They constantly monitor the position and adjust the course based on things like weather, sea currents, food and fuel. Now, your financial goals are going to need the same attention. So check in on your goals' progress regularly. Perhaps daily, you'll glance at your banking apps just to check your balances. Maybe weekly, you'll review your overall spending and see what went well and what didn't. And maybe monthly, you'll add up all your various balances, your wealth as well as your debt, to gauge progress towards your milestones. And then maybe every 6 months, you'll find it useful to recalibrate your goals based on your experiences and changes in circumstances. Now, why would you want to recalibrate? Well, imagine for a minute you're halfway through 2025 and you realise that a couple of unexpected expenses have thrown your spending way off course, and it's got in the way of the plan to clear your credit cards. But because you're monitoring regularly, you've got the opportunity to adjust your spending and still hit your milestone by year's end. That's the power of monitoring and recalibration. Think of it another way. Just like our sailor on the voyage, we all get pushed off course at some point or another. Now, monitoring gives you the opportunity to adjust your course before you find yourself in the teeth of another massive storm and no idea where you are. Right then, setting meaningful and achievable goals for 2025 is absolutely doable, no matter where you're starting from. It begins with defining a life that you love, changing the story that you tell yourself about the way you behave around money, marking out measurable milestones along the way to your main goals, and setting goals that embrace both sides of the coin: the what, the when, the amount, and the why. Now, if you need a bit more help with getting to grips with your finances, just grab your copy of the Anthony Plan. I've also got some free guides and workbooks on my website. I've designed them specifically to help you explore things like your money habits. So hopefully they'll be able to help you, if only a little bit. So thank you for watching. If you found this video in the least bit useful, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you soon.